I'm going to walk through the entire B2B sales process from beginning to end, whether you're selling $2,000, $100,000 deals or you have $3, $4, $5 million yearly contracts. There's 5 core frameworks to making sure you have a good B2B sales process, and we're going to go through each one today. Step number 1 is your discovery call. How do you run a good discovery call? Well, there are 2 frameworks to running discovery call. There's a problem now and a where now. What does that mean? That means if I'm doing a problem now discovery process, which we have a full training on, we have literally a master class on this thing, 45 minutes. You can do that training up here. In the problem now situation, what we're going to do is we're starting a call asking what's the biggest problem that they have right now that we can solve, and we spend the rest of the discovery call and the pitch and everything focused on solving that problem. Where this allows us to go is that we're 100% focused on the problem that they have and that their problem they're trying to solve, and then positioning our product, our pitch as the perfect solution to their problem. Now, when we look at the where now framework, that could be something that goes, hey, it's actually really good. I just heard that you guys can do XYZ, wanted to hear more. Great. I'm going to focus on, well, tell me where you guys are at now. What are you doing right now? What do you like about what you're doing right now? And then I make a switch where it goes, what would you change if you could? Do you have enough? Do you want more? And that's where I'm going to figure out where they're at now, and I'm going to create not a fake problem, but I'm going to show them, I'm going to build a gap from where they're at now so that I can unearth a problem, make them problem aware, and then I spend the rest of the call and the pitch and all of that focusing on solving that problem. That's the problem now versus the where now framework, and we do have master classes on both of those. I'll put the link here and in the description as well. Now, what's really important is number 2, and this happens on the discovery call, it's to find the buyer's process. Now, number 2 happens on the discovery call, but it can actually happen throughout all of your calls, and this is to find your prospect's buying process. And it's as simple as this question sequence. So John, say that you like this, everything's good, this checks out, I send the proposal, we're good to go. What's the next step on your team? Who are you going to have to bring this to? Well, I'm going to have to run it by the CFO. He's going to have to run the numbers, make sure that they're good. Okay, great. And what's your CFO's name? Okay, Kevin. And what is Kevin going to be looking for in this proposal? What is he going to want to see? Oh, well, he's going to want to see X, Y, Z. Okay, great. And if Kevin checks off and, you check off, what's the next step in the process? Well, it'll have to go through a final approval from the CEO and then go to legal. Great. What's your CEO really going to be looking for here? Okay, let me understand that. I'm going to dig into that. And what's the legal team going to look for? What do they normally flag? You see what I did? I just unearthed the entire buyer process, and I allowed myself to create an entire pitch and proposal that caters to all of those people. Now, you're still going to need to do follow-ups. You're still going to need to make adjustments depending on the size of your contracts, but this allows me to have my first presentation or my first proposal dialed in to be thinking about all the people in the buyer's process and catering towards what they're going to like or objections that they're going to have on the product. Number 3 in B2B sales is that you have to know how to run a follow-up call. Do not think that because the first call went great or the last call went awesome and everybody was excited about it, that they're coming to this call with that same energy. Imagine that the energy, the problem awareness, the goal awareness, all of that has gone back to 0 and you have to start over again. So how I would re-engage this is, hey, John, great to see you, man. Hey, I know last time we were talking about your lead flow being down and up and down and stressful and it's causing this, that, and the other, and this problem. Now, is there anything else that you thought of between when we last talked and now, or does that pretty much cover it? If they say, yeah, that pretty much covers it, now I can go into my call because I've kind of re-engaged the reason why we're here, which is to solve a problem. If you miss that and they're not coming in with a problem where maybe they just dealt with a different issue and this one is not top of mind for them, then that call is going to be very cold. So having a follow-up call, you want to make sure you bring the problem top of mind, the reason why we're here, and focus the rest of the follow-up call on solving that problem. And that's the whole point of sales, is to solve problems. Now, number 4 is running a pitch in a way that gets them to sell you on your solution. Now, what most amateur salespeople do is they go through a slide and go, does that make sense? Oh, yeah, Then they go to the next slide and go, does that make sense? Yeah, okay. The next slide, Yeah, that makes sense. And they get to the end and everything makes sense, and the person goes, oh, this looks good, and they got ghosted. So that happens all the time by amateur salespeople, and I've done it plenty of times. So, don't worry, don't be stressed if you've done it. Now, let me know in the comments if you've been guilty of that. Say guilty of just running through a pitch. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? Does that make sense? They seem excited, but then they ghost you. Just let me know in the comments, write guilty. What you need to do to get them to sell you is, as you go through a slide, you say, what's missing that I wasn't thinking about? That's going to unearth some objections, and then they're going to maybe handle some of those objections on that slide and go, and how would you see this helping you? And they're going to go, well, I could see it doing this and this for me. So what I just did, and I'm going to do this every slide, I'm going to ask the questions different so it doesn't sound robotic, but on every slide I'm going to go, hey, what's missing here? What am I not thinking about? That's going to unearth some objections on each slide. I'm getting them bought in, and I'm maybe handling those objections, and then I'm going to ask, and this is where they sell me on it. You go, well, how would you see this helping you? How is this different than what you've tried before? You see, so I'm getting them to tell me how this is different than what they tried before. I'm getting them to tell me how this is what they need. And if I've done that throughout the pitch well, in a way that doesn't seem mechanical and it doesn't seem like, dude, I know what you're doing, by the end of the pitch, you've literally just handled all of their objections, or at least most of them, and gotten them to sell you on why each main selling point of your product is a solution for what they need. And then number 5 is isolating and handling the real objection, right? Because time is rarely the actual objection. Money is rarely the actual objection. All these things are rarely the actual objection. And handling the objection, I have an entire 45-minute masterclass on this. You can watch it. It's the closing stack, how to isolate, how to handle any objection I'll ever face. But I'm going to give you the overview on this. So say, hey, great, let's just think about this. We might, need to take a few months before we get this started. Great, no worries. So, hey, let's just say you and I were already talking 2 months from now, and you guys already had this other project out of the way. Would we be getting started, or is there anything else that would keep you from moving forward? What that's going to do is that's going to tie down, do they like our offer? And so that's number 1. When I'm isolating an objection, I want to figure out, do they even like our offer, right? Well, that's pretty tight on the budget. Great. Hey, no worries. Just to be clear, if the budget wasn't as much of an issue, do you feel like this would solve your lead flow problem, your efficiency problem, your sales team's CRM problem? When you handle that and you isolate, they go, great, hey, no worries. Time out of the way. If time is here, if your partner was here, if whatever was here, if that was good, do you like what we're talking about here? Do you feel like it would fix your problem? And if they say yes, then we can double down on it and handle the objection that they brought up. Because if they said, yeah, man, I would do this, but it's just the budget, man, it's a little bit tight. Great. So just to be clear, if we can find out a way to kind of land and expand and get the finances to work, are you 100% on this, ready to bring this to your board and sell this? Or is there anything else that we need to discuss? You see, so I'm really isolating to make sure that they like our offer. If they like our offer, all right, and they go, yeah, I love the thing, then I can handle the other objections. I can handle timing. I can handle budget. I can really problem solve with this prospect through the whole thing. So number 1 is you got to tie down on the initial objection, because if they go, even if budget was in place, I'm still kind of concerned about XYZ, right? So I'm still not sure. This kind of sounds like the last thing. You see, so that allows me to handle the actual objection. And then number 5 is the follow-up, right? Because if you handle everything perfectly great and well, the reality is not all people or organizations are going to buy from you every single time right now. In fact, a lot of our money is made in our pipeline. People that we've been reaching out to and talking with and done proposals for, 6, 12 months ago, they're coming around, hey, Tim, we're ready for this. And that happens with good follow-up. Now, I'm going to give you a couple key follow-up techniques that's going to really help you. Number 1, when it's the initial follow-ups and you have the next call scheduled, you want to send some value emails between, hey, Jim, I just read this article and I thought it'd be, hey, Jim, I just saw this news article. I thought it'd be, hey, Jim, I just saw this statistic. I thought you'd find it interesting. That's a great way for us to stay warm while they're in that hot pipeline stage. Now, let's say you don't have the next meeting scheduled. I call this slipping. They were a good meeting. Things went super well, but I just don't have the next meeting scheduled. What you don't want to do is you don't want to chase them like a desperate boyfriend, right? You want to be sending them value. Hey, Jim, I just saw this thing. thought of you, let me know what you think. So it's more giving value. You can do all kinds of different things. Maybe if you go to events, you could say, hey, Jim, there's an event going on here in Miami I'm going to. Do you want me to get you some tickets? And they're going to say no. But guess what? If they do say, yeah, I'd love a ticket. And then they come out and they go to the event and they meet you and you bought them a ticket, you're probably going to get the deal closed. You can also do things like, hey, Jim, can I get your address? I wanted to send you a gift. And they're not always going to respond to that. But if they do respond, you'll have their mailing address. You'll be able to mail market to them, and you can send them like an Amazon book for $5. Like if I find a really good one, I've got one in my repertoire that I will send out to people as a gift, costs $5, free shipping, all good. And there's all kinds of different creative ways you can find to follow up that's not desperate. Just following up, just following up, just following up. You do want to stay on the radar. I would rather you say just following up and actually follow up like most salespeople do not do. But the best thing to do is to be adding value along the way. And if you do have new ideas of how you can work with them, every now and then you say, hey, Jim, we've got this new offer. I thought of you. I think it would be perfect for your team. Let me know if you got 5 minutes to chat. So that's the core framework for this course. Now, if you want the actual 5 hours of core training on how everything is run, from the in-depth discovery scripts to, isolating the objection and pitching all those pieces, we have an entire 5-hour course that we're giving out for free. We used to charge $10K for. You can watch that. It's going to be in a playlist at the end card here, or you can go down to the description. Or if you just want to see my top 3 B2B sales techniques that will help you start closing more deals immediately, watch that video too. It's on the end card and it's going to be in the description as well. I'm excited to see you in the next video.